Hi everyone, and welcome to our first episode of Difference Makers, a webinar that spotlights people and organizations that are focused on driving a culture of innovation across the country. Today we're speaking with Tammi Bosiljevac of ReRuns and how they're changing the consignment store game to focus on charities chosen by consumers. Before we get started, just a quick note, if you miss an insight or you want to go back and watch the webinar, no worries. We're going to send a link to the video straight to your inbox. So with that in mind, let's do this. So let's, if you don't mind, let's get it kicked off today by hearing just a little bit of your background and who you work with and what you guys do.
So my background is I have been with ReRuns since, '02, I want to say. And so it's been a while, and I've raised my kids through ReRuns. So that's my experience with ReRuns. I've just started off as a volunteer and helping them just with the fall and the spring sales. But my background is I'm an interior designer. And so this is so far from what I've ever done before. I've never been nonprofit, totally opposite of nonprofit, but really do love it. And I think that my love for ReRuns has come from just being a volunteer, seeing their mission and just owning it and being part of it. So that's how I got started with ReRuns. So my background is not technology, not secondhand clothing, and not nonprofit, but here I am.
Perfect candidate. I love it. So can you tell me a little bit about what ReRuns specifically does?
So ReRuns is the largest nonprofit women and children's consignment sale, biannual sale. So it is a twice a year we have a sale, spring, summer, winter, fall. And that sale, we have about 900 consigners that bring their items into our brick and mortar, and they sell their items within the ReRuns building within 10 to 14 days based on the year. And then all that profit that we make, we take 35% from the consignor, and then all that profit goes back to different charities in our community, nationally and internationally. So we have, it is really cool. ReRuns is ran on 400 volunteers. We only have 3 paid employees, and everything else is all volunteer based. And in the past, it's really cool. In the past, I want to say, less than 23 years, when we started actually keeping track, that we've given about $4 million away to some charities, some amazing charities.
$4 million. That's a heck of a legacy and footprint. Way to go. That is awesome.
Yes. And so when we started, Anna Sortino is our founder. So Anna started in the basement of her home, and she started with just this little vision of swapping clothes. She had 3 little kids, swapping clothes. And really she would hang stuff, pin it, price it, and help women. So then the line grew around the block and neighbors were complaining. So she had to move out. So she got a rented space twice a year in this little building. And then, sorry, my phone's loud. Then she grew, and she moved to a space. And then about 5 years in, approximately, her husband, Mike, was diagnosed with leukemia, and he had a 5% chance of survival. So Mike got rid of all his companies. Anna gave ReRuns to the church and said, take this, it'd be a great fundraiser. You can do a lot of good with it. And so they took it on. Well, Anna focused on her husband, started praying, rallied her friends to pray for Mike. And he beat leukemia. He was in the hospital for 9 months and he beat it. Wow. So then that's awesome. The church, I always get so teary about it because I love them like my parents. I love these people. They're amazing people. So then the church came to her a couple months later and said, listen, this is out of control. We are not in the business of secondhand clothing. We don't want this anymore. You got to take it back. So Anna's like, fantastic. So she applied for her nonprofit status. She got that, and she decided to do good with the rest of her life and just to give back because God spared her husband's life. So since then, she has been doing so much good with just secondhand clothing. It's been amazing.
That is awesome. That's an amazing story. I appreciate you sharing it with us.
Sure.
It's so exciting. So as you guys got underway, 2002, starting out of a basement, handing it off to a church, taking it back, growing it to hundreds of volunteers now, with millions of dollars donated. How has innovation helped kind of that journey along the way?
So we started recognizing about 3 years ago that we were definitely losing consigners and even shoppers. And so we wanted to get in the game and be able to make reruns a household name for everybody in the nation and bring reruns into everybody's home, make it a household name and do good in other communities. And we knew the only way we could do that is with creating this e-commerce site. And so we knew we needed the technology and someone way smarter than us to build the tools for people to actually bring reruns into their home and be part of our good by being able to create that e-commerce, that peer-to-peer marketplace, so people can actually sell their items and be part of the reruns community by doing good. So that is, I think, the technology alone. It's totally beyond me how you guys did it, but I definitely think it is going to give our community the ability to do more good, and then other people to be able to join in to be part of our good and join our community.
Yeah, that's great. So you recognize the need for innovation, and specifically the heavy emphasis on technology, because technology is just a part of innovating as an organization, right? So recognizing you needed to innovate and you needed to increase the technology footprint of your operation. How did you move forward from there?
How do we move forward from there? That's a great question. So I think that what Aviture has created for us, the ability for somebody to go into their closet, decide what they don't want, they need a couple extra $100, they take the pictures and they can upload those onto the website, and then pick that charity that they want to partner with, select that charity that the profits will go to from that sale, allows other people to be able to sell at ease, to be able to share their closets, share their desire to do good with that technology. I think it's so cool. It's always, whenever I sit with you guys, I'm always blown away with what Nate has come up with and what feature enhancement in order, like just those enhancement to do the amount of good that we're able to do with the website. So I think, long story short, I just think that the idea that a soccer mom can sit in her car and sit there on her phone and upload product and sell something to make an extra $500, maybe, for the week or for dance lessons or things like that, I think it's awesome, but also being able to give back.
Yeah,
Does
definitely.
that answer that question?
Yeah, no, that's great, Tammy. I appreciate it. So, and you're going to make us blush, but we also know that innovation and technology, especially when you mix those two together, isn't always perfect, right? You learn things along the way and you iterate. So could you share with us maybe some of the things that we've learned, challenges that we've encountered in our partnership together?
Oh my gosh, I've learned so much. And first of all, I think you guys are the best about training your clients to think differently, to understand the breakdowns and to educate your client to think big picture and to learn. Not in a bad way, but you force us to learn something so that we can actually be our own advocate and come up with the changes, then think outside the box and do things. I think some of our biggest challenges were the way we were visualizing the process of the sale. I think when Aviture came in, you guys definitely cleaned up that process, made it simpler, made it friendlier for our shoppers. It was less clunky. That was a big thing. Another thing that we had challenges with were just, like the back end stuff. You don't know what you don't know. And thank God you guys are into teaching us, but just the process of the reports, just the calculating of what the funds are and how much we're giving and what that looks like and what a return looks like. Those things, you have this vision, but you don't dive deep enough to understand the full length of it. And so we did a really good job of coming up with some ideas, but I think you guys did a really good job of making sure from A to Z, they were complete and they actually were seamless. Everything has bumps, but you guys did a great job with that.
Yeah, that learning experience is a two-way street. And so let me just offer that from an Aviture perspective, we had a unique opportunity to learn about your passion, your mission, and your processes as well. And I think it is truly in a partnership where both sides are seeking to understand and learn from one another that we have impact. So we appreciate the patience with us along the way as well.
Sure.
All right. Well, we really appreciate and so appreciate you sharing where you've come from and how we've gotten to where we're at today. What's next? What are we excited for? What's over the
Oh
horizon
my
for
God.
reruns?
Well, how many days do you have? Because like I could sit here and talk about what's next all day long for days to come. I think for us, our biggest goal is to just really get the ball rolling and make sure we have consistency with sales. We're seeing more and more people join our platform every day. They register, they're joining our community. I think the biggest goal is to make sure we see, 300 packages going out a day, not just us with it. We have an internal inventory, but then we also have our consigners that are all over, coast to coast, that their packages are rolling out. But there are so many grand ideas that Aviture has come up with. And one of them was, this is pie in the sky, but like a big goal once we get going is to have the ability for foster families to be able to shop on our site, peer donation, and to make sure that families are getting what they need, to provide more needs. Like creating the e-commerce is going to give us the ability to expand our give. And so we really want to be able to make sure, like if somebody's homeless, they can get on our site and they can get what they need, and all donation, or just new moms, that they can find things that they really need. So I think the biggest goal for us is to become a household name, to grow our give by $1 million a year. We want to be able to give $1 million a year away, and we just want to be a household name is the biggest thing.
Yeah,
and I know the site. I really know Aviture is the company to get our site where it needs to be, just because you guys have joined in that vision, and you guys definitely offer your opinions, and you guys have your excitement, what you can share with us, what you think. And so I think it's going to be exciting times for both of us in the future.
Definitely, definitely. And we also understand that innovation and technology is a means to an end and not an end of itself. And you guys, you, Tammi, have explained that end of reruns to become a household name and to give, increase giving, right? That's the definition of success for the reruns family is to increase what you guys are able to give, which is just outstanding. And it's been a real pleasure to work with you guys, partner with you guys, and learn along the way.
Thank you.
Before we wrap up, just a few fun questions for you. So, going to ask you a quick, just the first thing that pops into your mind, if you want to play along. So, PC or Mac?
Oh my gosh, neither. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not a technology person. I'm forced to use Macs. We have Macs here, so I use a Mac. Yes.
Okay, very good. All right. What emoji do you use most often?
The recycle.
Very good.
Every day I use that emoji. Yeah.
Very good. What do you like? Share with me the context of when the recycle emoji would come up.
So whenever we are on Instagram and we post, we always use that secondhand people first. So I use that emoji because I think people don't realize what they're throwing away as a treasure that we could be using, turn it into cash to give back to homeless, food insecurities, just so many things. So I always use that emoji because I really want people to understand, like, everyone has a treasure in your closet. So don't throw it away. Let us take it. Let us turn it into cash. So I use it all the time. I use it all over our social pages. I use it. I probably use it too much, but it's all right.
Yeah, that's okay. Hit me with that. You had kind of a mini slogan in there. Hit me with that again, if you don't mind.
So we always say secondhand people first.
Secondhand people first. Very good.
Yeah. That's truly to our heart, to our core. We love secondhand. We've raised our children on secondhand. This is secondhand. We buy all secondhand just because we know it's doing a lot of good. Absolutely. And then another one of our taglines is "We love do good."
Okay. Very good. Very good. All right, last one. What piece of technology from either a TV, a movie, a book that you've read, some futuristic technology that you wish was here today?
I think being a busy mom and working 13-hour days, I would say teleport. Like, get me one spot to the next as fast as you can get me. So
that is exactly what my wife has said as well. She wants to teleport here and now. Because so much time. Yes. Yeah. Bouncing back and forth. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today, Tammi. And it wouldn't be Difference Makers without you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Aviture.
Thanks so much for taking the time to talk with us today, Tammi. It was great getting to share a behind-the-scenes look at how ReRuns is changing the way consumers work with consignment stores and how the focus is on giving back to your community. That brings us to the end of today's webinar. A huge thanks to everyone who tuned in, and just a quick reminder that an email is on its way to your inbox with a recording for safekeeping. Got a question or want to get in touch with us? Please feel free to email me at steve.miller@aviture.us.com or visit us at www.aviture.us.com for additional content, resources, and more. Before we leave, just one final thank you to Tammi. It wouldn't be Difference Makers without you, and we appreciate you joining us for our first episode. It's been an absolute pleasure. You can find ReRuns on Facebook at reruns.relove and on Instagram at reruns_relove. Keep an eye out for our next Difference Makers webinar coming to you in February, so stay tuned. Have a great rest of your day.